Main event. We got Ayesha Curry effect. If you haven't seen, I know you're probably getting the clips of this and you're like, let me just skip to the main event. Well, what you don't realize is the previous 3 hours, I've been setting this main event up properly, talking about the fuck you boss up, evil world we live in. All right. The segment about how, you saw the Caleb Hammer segment. You saw the loser talk with that guy that said we need to boycott shit and stay home. We also had Straggle and Sniggle. Set this main event up. And also the Kristen Bell segment that was in the evil world we live in, where she said she wished she was more promiscuous in her 20s leading up to her marriage of 10 years. So what's happening is the Ayesha Curry effect is a classic effect to see, because initially Ayesha Curry was the savior for all women as far as men were concerned. She was an ideal woman. Now she's a woman that is kind of pivoting because of the marriage wheel. Right. The marriage wheel is undefeated. And if you guys are new to my programming here, you're looking at the best edutainment of YouTube. You're looking at where your favorite YouTuber sneaks all of his little attention here. All right. So here, all of it, their little talking points comes from directly from me in a sense here. But this is the marriage wheel. You have several phases and you can't really see it that well on the screen. But you have the phase where almost everybody's good, the honeymoon period. Then it goes into the investment phase. Is phase number 2. That's going on the right side of the screen. Okay. Honeymoon period. Everything's nice. You never have argument, engagement, planning, wedding, fornication, fucking, all of this stuff. All right. The second is the investment phase. That is on the mid to lower right side. And then you have on the bottom side is phase number 3, which is the bait and switch. All right. If men are teaching this, but they've never been married, they need to shut the fuck up. All right. You don't know what they're talking about. But the bottom section is the bait and switch, which in this case, we're going to talk about when women bait and switch. Men also do things in this part of the relationship that are detrimental to the marriage. So you have the husband works a lot of time, but the big part is the woman becomes a feminist. She reflects on what she's sacrificed, and then she'll say, what I could have been. Okay, so a woman will look, this is just how women work, guys. What I could have been. Okay, I could have been more sexually active. I could have been CEO at 32. I could have been rich. I could have married a millionaire. I could have had a train. I could have married LeBron James. I could have married instead of this guy. So she'll reflect on what she could have been. Kristen Bell is an example. I could have fucked more people. Now, men do this. It's shameful. Damn, I should have, before I got married, I should have fucked more girls. All right, this would be disgusting behavior for a man to say. All right, instead of having kids and a wife, I could have been a free agent and single. Like, this is disgusting narrative for a man to say. Absolutely disgusting for us to sit around and believe, right? And also, we know what's the reality. I could have got a better looking woman than my wife, but I could have dealt with more bullshit. I'll just stay with my wife. So the marriage wheel basically is predicated on predicting your marriages. Now, all marriages go through this. Men and women just simply compromise their way out of it. What'll happen is at stage number 4, which is in the middle tier area of the left, when a woman wants to quit, aka I don't want to wear the wedding ring anymore, I want to be CEO, I want to fuck more men, blah, 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 I want to have an open relationship, then you're convinced, now you're up against the gun. All right, so you don't follow the bait and switch. You tell her to go kick fucking rocks. Now you're over here fighting for your life like R. Kelly. All right, you're fighting for your children. You're fighting for half your resources. You're fighting in the court. She wants to take the kids to therapy. You lose half your shit. Blah, 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 blah. Then most men are encouraged to go at it again. Well, maybe it was a bad woman, or maybe if you were a better husband, then you do it again, and it's a wheel. Some men kick the hell out of there. Like, I kicked out of there. I only needed to learn once. A woman needs to teach me only once or twice who she is, and I believe them. And I say, well, I'm not changing you, so I'll just cut bait. It's hard for men to get there. You guys are constantly negotiating with people who are violating you, and you're getting weaker every time you renegotiate. You guys got to just drop their ass like a bad habit and go on to the next thing. Okay. All right. So we got the Ayesha Curry effect. According to the internet, and people are saying we're taking her out of context. Okay. By the way, men also go through the marriage wheel. Men do things against women all the time. Like, I get it. If you want me to share that, ladies, if you want me to share that, send me some money and I'll share that with you in season 8. But there's men, for an example, men look at their wife at 40 and they want to fuck a 20-year-old version of the wife. And they start fucking the secretary and they want to get their youth back. All right. They start looking at porn of barely legal teens with their feet out, right? Start supporting OnlyFans girls. They want to talk to young bitches. Right? Where when you go out to brunch with them, he always flirting with the fucking waitress and young bitches and hostesses and shit. And he think he still got it, ass nigga. So men go through that as well, where they're like, damn, I still want to fuck some 20-year-old bitches. Right? I still want to be outside in a Porsche. And I think I'm gonna get some hoes that are gonna be on me. That's they're gonna go through that as well, especially 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years into the marriage, where they got married young and they're 30, 32, and they still want to fuck with some college girls. All right. That's all part of it as well. That's all kind of regret. But Ayesha Curry allegedly has been out of context. But this is what she said. Now, this is gonna be terrible for men. Men are going to hear this and think this is terrible. But remember, she was the ideal wife when she was making cookbooks and all of that shit about 8 years ago. Then she pivoted and she started experiencing postpartum depression. Because when the marriage will investment stage is being, accumulation phase is being initiated, you're going to find that she's going to start trying to experience going back and returning back the hands of time. So now women are siding with Ayesha Curry and men are against what she's saying. Let's play the whole video. No, it's 2 minutes, so not the whole video.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life.
Did you talk to Steph about it?
He tries to resonate with me, but he just can't. And he also comes from a place of like, it's effing stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's
all right. So let me stop here. She's an empty vessel. She's pretty much an empty vessel. She should be seen and not heard very much. And it's hard to tell women this, but ladies, when you got a dub, you got a dub. If you could just learn to shut the fuck up. And listen, I'm a man, so I don't have the ability to do this. Like, I got to work and do things and talk my way out of the situation. I got to be smart and intelligent. You could have just shut the fuck up the rest of your life and been good. You could have kept this shit to yourself. All right. But hey, you can't tell women this and they need to be talking. All right. I said this to a woman one time and she said, well, why you talking? All right. Like, I'm super duper handsome. All right. But even handsome men got to be able to put 2 and 2 together. All right. But as you can see, she gone. All right. And the streets are calling. She can't just take that dub and shut the fuck up. She got hazel eyes, light skin. You won. All right. You're married to a billionaire. That's about as good as it's going to get. But of course, they want more. They want more. And she wanted to work her way to death. You know, she wanted to work her way to riches and shit like this. She couldn't keep this character going just for the bag. Nope. So as you can see, Steph is in the negotiation phase. This is a horrible stage of grief to be in where you're bargaining. So it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, tall, white, light-skinned, whatever you're doing here, you're always going to be in this situation in a marriage. Why? Because she has the leverage. Steph could lose his wife. He obviously doesn't want to do that, so he's going to defend her. He recently defended her against her previous podcast statement, which is this one, but they're keep releasing clips from this. I've already covered this clip. I've already covered a clip from this podcast, but more clips are leaking out. She's already showed her hand. She wanted more attention on Instagram. She didn't realize that people were treating her respectfully because she was the good wife. And they were treating Steph respectfully because they were like, he's a good husband. He ain't one of these niggas. Like, he ain't. So this is an equal match. She's like, there's more out here for me. So now I got to reveal to the world, I didn't want all this shit. Steph doesn't understand. Let's go from that point. I wanted more. I didn't want this. Why are you thinking this way? Steph's like, bitch, why are you thinking this way? Bitch, I got a double header tonight. I got a back-to-back night. I got to guard Anthony Edwards tonight. Bitch, you hitting me with this. Let's continue.
Stupid. Like, it's not true. So why? And I'm like, but wait, like, listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and
Sheesh.
I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, and
it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault.
The marriage wheel is undefeated. Let's explain what happened here. She was kind of forced into this honeymoon period. Remember, she had a life plan. He showed up. Oh, I thought you was going to be a gym teacher, a high school coach. I didn't think you was going to be an NBA all-star and one of the greatest basketball players ever. And I was just going to be a stay-at-home mom and, have your babies. Okay, I'll do it. It seems all right. Yeah, I'll go along with the plan. Now you're in the investment phase. She says after the first daughter, listen up to me. I was locked in. I couldn't really pivot. Couldn't really get out of it.
It's always Jermaine's fault.
I was forced into it. I was forced into it. I could not now follow all. She said in my previous life, which for men, I want to understand women. I don't want to force my ideology on a woman. I don't want to force a woman to become what she doesn't want to become, because that's going to be harder for me on the back end. I want to tell her what she's able to do, and if she don't want to do it, I can kick her ass to the curb. I've done that once. You should just do this, and you should be happy doing that. That ain't going to help you guys. That ain't going to help you. They're going to be what they want. So she said, my life before Steph, I was a CEO at 32. I was kicking ass at fucking Enron. I would have had a C-suite executive. She's going to say this later. I would have been kicked. But now that I got this daughter, I realized my life was going to go on this trajectory. And guess what? I'm not happy. Now, you've heard her come out with outlandish shit about this guy. And of course, Steph defends her. I'm not saying he shouldn't defend her. He's got to defend her because he knows what he's about to lose. But you heard what she said. This is just a clip. People are saying you need to watch the whole show to get context. Man, this woman is not a great speaker, so I don't need that much context. I can hear what she's saying.
I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore.
Ma'am, I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore, which means now the kids are priority. Steph is the priority. I didn't have time to think about what I wanted. Me.
Hey, like,
Me.
listen to how it makes me feel. And he's like, but why does it make you feel like that? It's not real. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughters so quickly.
Oh, it happened so fast. See, I've said this before, and men don't realize this is going to happen. When you get into a situation where the woman is going to be telling you we should get married, and guys, most of the time it's the woman saying this. I know women want to think men pressure them into this. I would beg to differ. I think it's the woman. Oh, I want to get married. I want to have an engagement, a dress, a ring. They're so wanted that stability that they're kind of pressuring you and they're not asking you. Like sometimes women don't ask for money, but you'll give it to them. And then when you say, well, I gave you all that money, she'll say, but I didn't ask you for it. I thought you were being generous. I thought it was a gift. Same with marriage. You ask them on bended knee. In their mind, you ask them. When they have a baby and you're fucking them and you say, I'm going to put the babies into you. I'm going to put these babies into you. You just saying that so you can nut. In their mind, you forced her into pregnancy. You made her have a baby quickly after marriage. So she didn't have the time to think about her life and where she wanted to get out of life. I didn't have the time to think. So this is how women work. You should expect this so that you can get the best out of this world living with women. Because if you don't, and you think women are going to think differently, you're going to be shit out of luck. I'm giving you the cheat code to this life. I'm giving you the programming to this life. And any woman can pull this shit. I don't care if you got a woman you've been rocking with for 10 or 15 years. She can pull this at the drop of a hat. You better be ready for this. I don't care if you're at the JUCO, regular woman, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance. It's going to happen where she can victimize herself. Well, he forced me into it, and I could have been out here in these streets. I could have been C-suite exec. I could have. That's what you're hearing from her. I'm breaking this down. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm not saying she's feeling what she's feeling is wrong. She's feeling what she's feeling. But it happened so quickly. We had the first kid so quick. Imagine you're the daughter listening to this. Now, if a man was walking around saying this about his daughter, you know, I got married to her so fast and we had the first kid and I wasn't even ready for these kids, you know, but she wanted to have a baby so fast and I could have been MVP of the damn league without her. Okay, let's continue, man. Let's continue.
I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared. And
wow,
I didn't think twice about it.
Okay, this is incredible. One thing that I heard a young lady say, and the JUCO is very valuable to me. All right, I heard a young lady say this. She was about 26 years old, and she said to me, the thing you have to understand about women is they don't think about what they're going to say before they say it. Okay, this is another thing you need to write down. They don't think about what they're going to say before they say it. No woman thinks about what they're going to say. They'll think about kind of the situation and we need to talk, but they never think I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to articulate my point right off the bat. What they'll happen is we need to talk. They'll think about it for 3 or 4 days. They'll finally get you in front of you and they haven't think about what they're going to say. They're going to operate on their feelings and emotion. They're going to hit you with a lot of and ahs. Then as soon as you hit them with the okie doke and the Jedi mind trick, all they shit falls apart. Now they scrambling and scraping for shit. As you can see, she's not articulating her point well at all, to the point where I say if men say this shit, they would be buried. So she's going to articulate her feelings. That's all she's doing. I didn't have the time to think about it. And it happened so fast. And my previous life, I was thinking about what my previous life was going to be. Then what? Okay. So women do not think about what they're going to, when you're having a conversation, just understand, they don't think about what they're going to say when they say it. They haven't thought that shit out. All they about to do is just blah, 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 with a lot of and ahs and looking up left and right and a lot of stammering and script. Okay. And then when you catch them on some shit and you hit them with it, then it's plausible deniability. That's when they lean on shaming language, manipulation, lies, plausible deniability, all of that shit. That's why they got to do it. Because they ain't thinking. They thinking about how they feel about it. Then they got you in front of you. Then you start hearing tears and seeing tears and fake crying and murmuring and falling on the ground, right? And passing out. Now you're abusive, controlling. You won't let her get her words out. I'm like, bitch, you ain't saying nothing but pausing and looking up in the air. All right, so I'm trying to finish the thought for you. Let me take this conversation over for you. Bitch, you ain't saying nothing. Or you keep reiterating the same point over and over again. We're 30 minutes in and you just repeated yourself. Let me end this shit. Let me land the plane. The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the Blue Chip Mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation what are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the money mindset link. Let's get our blue chip mindset on. The window is still open. Let me land the plane. All right, so now let me interject in this shit. Well, I don't need you talking and cutting me off. You cut me off every time we talk because you ain't saying shit. All right. I'm not about to sit in front of you and you have a whole filibuster of this bullshit, and I could be out here hitting golf balls. All right. All right. I'm about to give you the floor, and this is what you're coming up with. Talking loud, ain't saying nothing. Shout out to James Brown. So here we go right here. This is like talking to a child, right? Children with breasts, Chronicle with Judah. Imagine sitting in front of this shit, listening to this. Let me continue.
Think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1.
See, who wants to sit in front of this shit? Women will sit in front of this all the time because they're socially based, right? We got shit to do. Now watch this drive. For facts.
I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself.
Wow.
Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too.
Wow.
And I need to get my shit together.
Wow. Now, again, Steph tricked on her, gave her the life of a princess. Remember that one guy bought the girl a castle and she left that nigga and said, I didn't ask him for a castle. Set you up. Most women will trade places with her. I mean, I know you think you're gonna you think this is gonna make her happy. It's not. Dude, you could give a woman $10,000 allowance and she'll still be like, I need to get another sugar daddy. I need to fuck another guy. I'm just saying, bro. I know, guys. I know. Are there women like this already, right? That aren't like this? Few and far between. It's basically a needle in a haystack. And they all can be like this. It's not that all women do this. It's that they all seem to be women that do this. Okay, so this is where we are. As you can see, she's like, yeah, after the child or two, I was thinking about I could have been CEO. I could have been doing much more. Yes, a woman's going to say this. Your wife's going to say, I could have been, because she saw other people, her friends, become that. And she's watching them going, but I was changing diapers. Damn, while I was changing diapers, I could have been this. That's what she's saying. Now, this is a woman's life. I don't get pregnant, so I can't relate. I just think it's ridiculous because, believe it or not, she probably asked for this, and now she's reneging. All right. I mean, this is crazy work. Now I thought what I could have been instead of changing diapers.
And figure out what that looks like for myself now.
If I have a career and I'm
Yeah.
not home, like did you experience that?
I still experience that.
Still.
I still experience that. I'm almost like I'm always in therapy talking about this.
Sorry for pausing this. You guys can watch the full video anywhere in the world, but you're watching me break this down. She still deals with this to this day. Shout out to the champ. I still deal with this. And I'm in therapy. This is why you always hear women talking about therapy and therapy and therapy. Ma'am, we don't go through life like this. Now, I know we got trauma, and trauma ain't never hurt anybody. All right? Not like y'all's trauma. This is why they got to be in therapy all the time. Because they're wrestling with themselves. And this is why I say I don't wrestle with women, because they can't even wrestle with their therapists. They can't even wrestle with themselves, let alone wrestle with me, because I'm ruthless. All right? I'm ruthless. But now we got the therapist in there. This bitch is a millionaire, billionaire. She could divorce and become one of the richest women in the world. She's in therapy about still thinking about what she could have been. I mean, listen, I know people are going to say, well, money doesn't fix anything. You got a lot of bitches that will take $500 from me right now and throw me some pussy right here. So I don't want to hear money don't mean shit. She's set for life. She wants to be in these streets. She's been begging for it. She just needs a exit off of Highway 304. That's all she needs. She need a good reason so that when she jump off this motherfucking exit, that everybody gonna say she made the right decision. Because right now, there ain't nobody she can replace Steph with. There's nobody. She needs somebody, one of these executives at one of these what do you call it? These the Silicon Valley executive, like Steph's mom did. But she's like, man, nah. Now she's using this as an excuse to why to say the marriage ain't working for her. When in reality, she just is jealous of Steph's success. I mean, that's just where it is. She's jealous of Steph. All right. I thought I was going to be the main bitch, the bitch in charge. I thought I was going to have an equal partnership, but she doesn't have power in this relationship. All right. I don't have power in this relationship, so I feel powerless. How do I get power? One thing you will realize is that you're in a power struggle with your girl. If she's in a subservient relationship, she'll try to wrestle away power, right? She'll try to balance that power somehow. If you're in an equal partnership, she'll try to balance that power, right? She'll buy her way out of doing traditional roles, or she'll say, yeah, we're in an equal partnership. I'll have sex when I'm ready, and you'll just have to wait. That's a way that women deal with power, because men have the power. We have the power of the penis, and we have the power of being strong and resilient and ambitious. All right, they don't. All right, they need more sleep. Right? They need a whole bunch of shit. They need to rest. They don't need to be in discipline. So that's all she's doing. She's trying to wrestle away this power. She just doesn't know where to go with it yet. She doesn't have a highway exit off of Highway 304.
If you lose all of those things that were interesting about you,
wow,
even for yourself, like even the things that made me feel confident and cool, then what are you doing?
All right, so this is
I didn't
hear the last couple 10 seconds here. By the way, she doesn't articulate herself really well.
Things that were interesting about you.
So if you lose those things that were interesting about you, what you have to understand, we're understanding as men, women had a life before you. And they had in today's world, especially when you're dealing with modern women, what they're doing is they're living their life prior to you, then handing over the bags to you after. Whereas when women were younger, they weren't of the world yet. All right. They had a small worldview. They had a small reach, and their reach wasn't as high. They didn't have goals and ambitions and dreams to be rich millionaires and CEOs and have their own bag. This is a new shift in our world, somewhere around the mid 2000s, where women can have their own cars and their own riches and their own houses. This is all new. So if a woman was married and settling down before that, then it's hard for her to be settling down for you after that, if she hasn't been able to try to reach that. So what are women doing today? I'm going to live my 20s out, then turn it in. I'm going to be of the world first, then pick the male second. You're going to hear this when women defend what Ayesha Curry was saying. This is the new male and women dating selection process. More women are going, let me try to become rich and famous. Let me try to become settled. Let me buy my own property. Let me have my own power. Let me have my own money. Let me do all of this first. Let me fornicate. Let me fuck Kristen Bell. Let me fuck who I need to fuck. Let me take my own trips. Then I'll get together when the power is equal. When I have what I needed to have. Instead of getting married at 21, I'll get married at 29, 30, 31, 36. Then it's power couple. And then it's don't date, you're a 30-year-old man. You should be dating 30-year-old women. And their therapist is hearing this shit years and years, racking up $250 an hour or 10 medical insurance sessions. So this is where we're going. This is what the future of picking partners and male partners and female partners is going to be. Exactly what she expressed. Now, this is an important transition here. The more life they live in the world, the more than likely they're not going to be a part of your program. All right. They need that power. They need to realize that, they need to realize what they could have got out of this world. All right. They need to see it out. They need to build their fortress first, then come in and see if they can merge with you. I can't help that this is the way of the world, but this is the way of the world now, primarily for almost everyone. And certainly today, single people going forward. This is how people are going to mate select. And women dictate this. Why is this important now? Because Ayesha Curry was the face of traditionalism. She also had a tweet talking about, let me see if I can show you this. Ayesha Curry's tweet. Let me see. Tweet about attention. All right, this is 2019, y'all. This is how fast things change. All right, let me see here. Where's the tweet? Damn, if we can get it. Oh, damn. It ain't showing. Let me see if I can find it. All right, that's not the one. It's right here. Who remembers this? This is from 2019. How fast the world changes. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay. It wasn't a tweet about attention. It was a tweet about how women dress. How women dress. Let me see if it still stands here. See if it still stands. All right. Yeah. Here we go right here. This, yeah. This is, oh shit. You can't see something here. All right. I'm glad it ain't my feet picture collection. All right. Remember, she was the face of traditionalism for black women. All right. Mostly for black men. Everyone's into barely wearing clothes these days, huh? Not my style. I like to keep the good stuff covered up for the one who matters. Now, what year was this? Like, this is the type of tweet she used to put out. Now, again, she was faking the funk like a nasty dunk. But this was Ayesha Curry's position from initially. So a lot of men celebrated her like, yes, this is the wife that all women should aspire to be. Let me see what year that was. 2015. All right, 2015, 10 years ago. All right, 2015, 2016 was that. All right, and this came on BuzzFeed. So that was 2015 was that tweet. So this was before a lot of y'all that watch me were even adults. You guys were children. This is why Ayesha Curry, she's kind of interesting now to us. Because we're like, wait a minute. All right, hold on for a second. Where's my wait a minute? Who are you? Yeah, she was like,
wait a minute. Who are you?
But now she's turning boss babe. All right. And this is just one tweet. All right. But she was a pygmy back in the day. She was literally, women hated her because every time she talked, all the women would go crazy. All right. They would go hella crazy listening to Ayesha Curry. Women would go ape shit listening to her because back in 2015, going into 2017, Ayesha Curry was this. All right. Covered up. The only one man matters to me. You know, I'm a wife and a kid first. I'm a traditionalist. So for people who don't know that, that's some context to give you on why Ayesha Curry is always constantly talked about when it comes to Steph and Ayesha. Okay, so now let's take you to the defense force.
Has the modern dating landscape confused you? Have many of the standards that you heard, you're kind of tired of hearing about, and you're wondering, what does it all mean? Well, look no further. Join us talking about the monetized dating marketplace right now on Locals, and it is CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can create a free account to join the conversation between the Coach Gang members, but also on Sunday, we do a live stream demonstrating all aspects of the monetized dating marketplace, and coming soon in 2025, you're going to have access to a sample of the monetized dating marketplace course where you can get information related to how to participate in the monetized dating marketplace and or how to understand it, so you're not out here spinning your wheels trying to figure out how you're going to best deal with the monetized dating marketplace. Listen, everything and every aspect of dating is monetized. We just want to relieve the frustration that you might have about it. So the best way to do it is make a free account right there on Locals, CoachGregAdams.locals.com. You can get access to those live streams, but create a free account. Just join the conversation. I am the only one covering this conversation from this point of view. And yes, I am ahead of my time. Get ahead of the information before you're priced out.
We have some women that are defending this, obviously. And let me see here. We're going to start with this woman right here. Let's see what we got here. We have this one here. Just so you know, this is a classic bait. All right, Ayesha Curry is what?
Ayesha Curry is what happens when a generation of 21-year-olds tell themselves that they're ready to be wives and they're ready to find the love of their lives and settle down instead of being hoes. Every single time we have a conversation about her or about what she said in your interview, the tone that people take is very judgmental. Everyone's very disgusted in her. She's the bottom of the barrel. They can't believe that she would be so ungrateful and so miserable. And she's like, oh, Steph Curry deserves so much better than her. At the core of what she is expressing is a girl who got with a guy very, very young in life before she had any like real life experiences and then married him. Now they've been married X amount of years. I don't know, 10, 12 years. I'm not sure. Right. And they have 4 kids together and he is extremely famous and she is his wife. That is what her entire life is. And now she is reaching 40 and it's starting to click in her head that, oh my God, I only have one life to live. And now it seems like because of the choices that I've made, my entire life will only be defined by this person. I will only ever be his wife and the mother of his children. It's very interesting for Ayesha Curry to speak out about it because for the past, like, I don't know, it was like 8 years or so, she's been building a career and a brand for herself, right? Like she had cookbooks, she had her own talk show, she had like a food show, right? Like she's been building a brand all for herself and a name for herself, making a career for herself. And her still expressing the sentiment of feeling unsatisfied is because it seems like no matter what she does, all she ever will be is his wife and the mother of his children.
Let me stop you here, gentlemen. This is what she's saying. And by the way, look at the engagement here on this post. Guys, Chris Rock said you can hand a woman a diamond dick and it's not going to be enough. And I know that. That's why when I'm out here at the JUCO, when I'm out here dealing with women, I give them a little bit, and I know it's just going to be a wash. Eventually, she's going to start looking the other way. I don't have enough to give a woman. I got a lot, nigga. I got a lot. Like, my profile is a lot, and women still come over here and be like, yeah, that ain't enough, and they'll still go over there and butterfly here and there. And I'll be like, shit, if I can't hold on to a woman, and you can't force them to do it. The more you force them to stay on your program, the more they're going to rebel. They'll be good for a little bit. Okay, but I got a lot to give them, and they still be over there exercising their options. You're hearing this, and she's blaming it on she was very young, 21. Yes, in America, 21 is young. I think that's ridiculous. She's too young to get married. This is what happens when women marry young. She had a career going for her. What? Cookbooks? The husband was making $100 million a year, and she talking about some cookbooks. Okay? She talking about cookbooks and a cooking show that Steph was funding. Steph put up the front money. I'm not Steph Curry. If Steph can't keep a bitch happy, I can't keep a bitch happy at all. I ain't even gonna try. As soon as she get unhappy, I'll be like, all right, I'm not happy. Musical chairs. Next. All right, we've reached our limit. I see you went out here trying to float on and you trying to look at another. Go ahead. All right, go get him. Now, what women want to do is they don't want that. Now, let me just tell you how this works. Okay, because if she was making cookbooks without Steph Curry, them cookbooks wouldn't have floated. But what women want to do ultimately, and what Ayesha Curry is doing, is she's holding on to Steph and she's trying to get to the next branch. They call it monkey barring for the normies, monkey branching for the red pill. What she's trying to do is she's holding on to the Steph image and name and likeness, and she then trying to go to the next thing. What I do is I tell them, okay, no more branch. Okay, that's why the Russian woman called me ruthless. Because while she trying to hold on to me and get what she wants, she trying to get to the next branch, and I'll cut the branch off and they'll fall and break an arm. Okay, and that's why they call me ruthless. I'm like, oh no, okay, I see you reaching out to another branch. I'll cut the branch, and them bitches will fall down to the ground, and they'll get evicted, and they'll get, you know what I mean? They'll start facing shit. They'll start doing DoorDash after the divorce. You see what I'm saying? I don't let women monkey branch on me. I don't let bitches do that. I'll just be like, oh, bitch, you getting nothing. So this is what she's doing. She's trying to reach out to the next thing. Then once she gets it, then she'll cut Steph. If Ayesha was a woman that stand on her word, she would cut Steph off right now, take the divorce money and see what she can get out here, which she ain't going to get shit. She might pick up another guy. She not going to get a guy that's on Steph's level. She knows this. All right. So this is what she's doing. And now what the women are saying is she was so young and she wanted to, nah.
The sentiment that she's trying to describe is being like, oh my God, when I die, I will have wasted my entire life belonging to other people. I would have never been my own person. Because I got with him so young, I robbed myself the chance of becoming my own person, of being.
I did not tell you that I got with him so young. I robbed myself of being what?
My own person.
My own person. I can't help y'all, guys. I can't help y'all. Y'all want this to be different. Y'all want to find women that think differently. I'm just telling you, of the available single women today, there's not many. There might be some married women that think like this right now, and there may be a few single women that think like this. A few that are under 25 and marriageable. Not no 30, 29-year-old, 31, 34. We're talking about young women between 21 and 25 that have this as a goal. This is feminist ideology. As I said, guys, you can't help it. They have the software downloaded for feminism. That's where we are. This is all feminism talking. Okay? This is all programming and propaganda. Rob me of who I could have become because I was so young when I got married. Bro, hey, listen. And this is Steph Curry we talking about, not some nigga who's a plumber. All right, but anyway, let's continue here. She has 7 minutes. I don't know if we gonna go that long.
She is actually mourning is her individuality and her sense of self.
Yeah.
A very uncomfortable conversation a lot of you are not willing to have. You're also not willing to even try and attempt to have a conversation from a place of grace. Because every video I've seen talking about it has been people like looking down on her and talking to her crazy and being like, your husband doesn't cheat on you. Your husband doesn't beat on you. I can't believe that you're being so ungrateful. Like, I'm sorry if some people are just a little bit more ambitious and they don't think that the top of the mountain, the top of the hill is being somebody's wife, is being somebody's mother. And it's possible with Ayesha, especially because she met him so young, that she thought that it'd be enough, that she thought that she'd get there and she would feel fulfilled and she would love her life. And instead she feels miserable. She feels like she's not a person anymore. And again,
okay, so breaking that down, she thought that, again, this is why you have to listen to what women are saying to you now. I want to be settled and I want to have a family. I want to get out of the streets. I want a guy that supports. I want a provider. Okay, you're going to give that to her. Boom. 7, 10, 12 years down the line, bait and switch. Oh, I could have been this and I could have married that and I'm not an individual no more. And I took your last name and I just feel like a mom and a wife. And I feel like I'm not making a contribution to it. I feel like I need to go back to work. I feel like I need to have a career. This isn't just Ayesha Curry's problem. This is a lot of women's problems because they do have more opportunities than most any other women that have ever existed in the world. So this is what you're going to experience. I don't care if it's Ayesha Curry, Steph Curry, or yo goofy ass. This is what it is. I chose that life. I thought I would be happy, but boom, I'm not. But everybody thinks that every woman would trade for that. A lot of women would trade for Ayesha Curry's position. Yeah, and you're trying to negotiate with this. Dude, you come home from work and you had a great day from work. Baby, I scored 30. All right, I was giving Anthony Edwards the business. Pause. And she ain't happy. She's sitting in the corner crying because she didn't came from therapy, rocking like this. And you're like, what's going on? You can't even celebrate your wins as a man and have some women don't see themselves as wives and mothers. Not anymore. They see themselves getting married at some particular point, not as a wife and a mother. They don't want that to be their sole identity. When I say they, I'm saying the majority. The majority of single women today don't see that, right? And ask a Gen Z woman or a Zennial, do they want to have kids? They'll be like, hell no. Right? No. So even you gave it to her. I want a provider male. I want a man that pays all the bills. As soon as you pay all the bills, I have a video that says you pay all the bills, it becomes financial abuse. I don't have control. I don't have power. He pays all the bills. I don't get to see the money. He only gives me money when I ask for it. I have to ask for him to get money. He just doesn't give it to me. Financial abuse. He asked me for my credit card statements. He wants to know where I am. Too much control. So they asked for the provider. When they got provider treatment, oh man, this provider shit ain't for me. I want you to provide and just turn the other cheek. Don't ask me about nothing. Just give me the money and don't say nothing. Let me tell you another video. Okay, we'll try to negotiate with this. Again, are there women out here that who would be the antithesis of this? Sure. But good luck. There's more of us looking for that woman than there are of those women. Okay. There's more of us looking for that woman than there are available of that woman. All right, we have another sister. Again, the sisters are chiming in because, yeah, the least married, most divorced, have something to say about this.
Ayesha Curry is one of those people who, when she talks, I immediately block out anything anyone has to say. I don't even let their opinion of what she's saying enter my ear before I run and go watch it and listen to it for myself, because she is one of those people that we as a society, or not we, a lot of people have this irrational irritation towards, that anything she says or does will irritate them. Tyla is one of those people. Gabrielle Union is one of those people. I'm sure we can all think of someone. People collectively as a society, they have just decided they dislike and will rule out anything and everything that comes out of their mouth, and will just look for an opportunity to kick them down. And as it pertains to Ayesha Curry, I think it is really unfortunate, because even though I am child-free, she is saying something that I have heard many women say, many women who are wives, many women who are especially mothers, who have devoted their lives to their children, or their lives may not have panned out the way they thought they were going to. And that's something that you start to realize and think about the older you get, but especially as you start to near your 40s. And it's very natural for Ayesha Curry to be experiencing what she is experiencing and speaking out about it.
Let me stop her right there. Now, you fools think you're going to beat this, okay?
Silence, you fool.
You fools think you're going to beat this. I'm here to tell you, you're not going to beat this. All right? There ain't enough game. There ain't enough Christ or God. There ain't enough Allah that's going to beat this. Now, maybe some Allah, all right, because these women seem to be scared of Allah, but Christ they ain't scared of. All right, because Christ washes all sins away. There ain't enough God that's going to defeat this. Okay, I'm just letting you know. And she's now said what I said. Yeah, you're going to experience this bait and switch. All right, that's what you're getting out here. Eventually, by that 40, 35, mid-30s, 35, 2-3 kids in, now you're going to start seeing her reflecting on what, oh, I could have been this, and I should have experienced that. And, you know, you forced me to have kids, and you took away my youth. And, you know, I could have been 25 at the club, but I'm 25 and got married. Right? And I had kids and I was changing diapers, and these hoes was out here getting trains ran on them and going to concerts and fucking rappers backstage and catching herpes. Like, that would have been better for me. Now, if she would have been out there, there's single women out here that get tired of that. All right? Or they just become accustomed to it and live it out while they're trying to find a simp ass provider. Right? Like they still living it, thinking that they're going to turn the monogamy switch on when their provider male comes on. And then when the provider male comes, then he's weak, he's easy, he's not manly enough. And then she still cheats on him.